Good morning. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word. I'm Barry Bryson. We're continuing our study of the suffering servant passage, and we just finished looking at Isaiah chapter 50. And in Isaiah chapter 50, the Messiah speaks up again. He's spoken once before in this passage, but now he's speaking directly to us again. And he's telling us about himself and the way he is faithful, even when he's beaten, even when he's spit upon. He is faithful to God and comes through to the other side and achieves the victory that God has to offer. And at the end of the chapter, he also established his status as being sharing in God's divinity, because he, like God, has the right to command us, and he is the one who will act as our judge in the end if we do not follow him. And he continues to speak through chapter 51, verses 1 through 3, encouraging them to not be afraid. The Messiah said, I'm going to be beaten, I'm going to be spit on, and I was not ashamed and I was not afraid, because what matters is that I'm faithful to God and God will exalt me. And of course, that's borne out in the life of the Messiah. It's borne out of the New Testament. Read Philippians chapter 2, beginning with verse 1. I mean, that's the Messiah's story. And so he's telling them now in the lifetime of their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren, when domination by Babylon comes, when we have the first captivity, the second captivity, when they come and destroy the temple, that's not God being unfaithful. You just continue to trust God. This is all part of God's plan, necessitated by the sins of his people. But that doesn't mean you can't still trust in him. Listen to me, chapter 51, verse 1. Listen to me, you who pursue righteousness, who seek Yahweh. Look to the rock from which you were hewn, and to the quarry from which you were dug. Look to Abraham your father, and to Sarah who gave birth to you in pain. When he was one, I called him. I blessed him and multiplied him. Indeed, the Lord will comfort Zion. He will comfort her in all her waste places, and her wilderness he will make like Eden, and her desert like the garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness will be found in her, thanksgiving and sound of a melody. There will be reversal of fortune, and then reversal of fortune again. Times are relatively good now. You have a good king. You're being faithful to my word, and you're relying on me. And when a threat comes your way, like the Assyrian army, God takes care of it. But there are going to be there's a time coming when you're going to be carried into captivity, and they're going to destroy the city of Jerusalem. They're going to destroy the temple. But then there will be another reversal of fortune, because that's part of my plan. When you return to me, I will prepare you to be a people ready to receive the Messiah. The Messiah himself is telling us these things, and he's saying, do not quiver and quake when the day comes. Be like Habakkuk, who later on will write, I'm looking at the invasionary force of the Babylonians, and I'm shaking in my boots, and my heart is melting within me. But even though there be no even though there be no produce of the fig tree, be no fruit on the vine, no calf in the stall, I am going to trust in my God. Even while I'm shaking in my boots, I'm going to be trusting in my God. And he's asking them to do the same thing. Think of Abraham. Think of Sarah. Think of how I kept my promise to them, and not in any way they thought about. I mean, she gave birth in pain in her 90th year. And Abraham was 100 years old. I promised them a child. I promised to make them a great nation. I gave them a child of promise, but on my time schedule and on my terms, not the way they thought it was going to be. So remember the people from which you come, the rock from which you are hewn. Remember Abraham. Remember Sarah. Remember their faithfulness and how I kept my promise. And when the time comes, I need you to be Ezekiel, Daniel, Hananiah, Azariah, Mishael, Esther, Mordecai, I need you to be faithful and not think I have deserted you, because I haven't. This is part of the plan. This part of the plan was necessitated by your sin. But I'm still faithful, and I will still keep my promises. Okay, we're going to pick up with verse 4 next time. Thank you so much for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word.